Hello everyone and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host Ross13 and today we are looking at the Odin from LBX. This is another one that I finished the build a while back and for whatever reason haven't gotten around to reviewing it until now. So here it is. This is I believe it's like the upgrade robot for the main character in the LBX series. I don't really know much about it as I've established before, but it was pretty cool looking, so I thought I'd check it out. But before we get into the actual kit, let's take a look at the box. So to start off, we got a cool looking illustration of the Odin in its robot mode and its flight mode. This thing is a transformer, and that's pretty darn cool in my book. I like transformers, what can I say? We got LBX, Odin. Trust me, that's what it says. I know you can't see everything. Focus. We got a Japanese logo that I'm guessing says a lot more than LBX. We have a tiny orbit logo, which I've learned this is the company that manufactures this thing in universe. That's kind of neat. If you watch like the Japanese version of the show, plus I think it's like this in the DS game or 3DS game, the boxes they come in actually look like this, so that's pretty cool. We got a blue Bandai Spirits logo down there. Bandai Spirits 2019, so this is actually a relatively recent kit. On this side, we have, out of focus, some nice painted illustrations of painted photographs of the Odin. You can see its core box, whatever that is. I made the thing and put it in there, but it's kind of buried in there, so you may not see that in the review itself. It's basically just a piece of plastic with stickers on it. We have its robot mode, its flight mode, its weapon thing, action, create action poses and recreate finishers. And we have a little write-up about LBX. It's out of focus. Specifically about the Odin. You can read that if you want. Then, on this side, we have the same illustration as the front. Same logos and stuff like that. We have Bandai Hobby Site Kids. Because I guess they don't want you going to the other one if you're a kid. Then, on this side, focus. We have another photograph of the kit. Plus, it kind of gives a little bit of a rundown of the unique way that this thing is put together, which is still pretty cool, and I'll probably go over that at least a little bit in this review. Then we can see a link to, I think this is actually, well, this says YouTube, Kokoro. This is actually a manga, I think, but I'm guessing this is for like the YouTube extension of that. I've seen a few episodes of the English dub version, and it's kind of neat. Then, usual write-up, safety information. And hey, look! No yen price, but it's centered! Look at that! Bandai! You can do it! You can make me not be sad. Think about it. This side, same as the other, but we do get the Bluefin sticker. And that is that. So, let's take a look at the actual figure now. And here he is, looking pretty snazzy actually. The main drawback on him is he's got lots of stickers. Almost everything that's yellow, with like the exception of these parts here, are stickers. And I'm not entirely certain why, because they did use yellow plastic for like the leg bits here, but they didn't use it anywhere else. And just a lot of detail pieces ended up having to be stickers. And that's a shame. But if you can get past that, you're left with something that's pretty cool. This thing is an LBX kit, as I stated earlier. So it builds similar to Gunpla, but is very much its own kind of beast. And the fact that this thing transforms just adds to that. So it was a very, very interesting build. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at articulation. So take a quick look at the sculpting on this, and it looks pretty cool. I really like how the metallic stickers work for the eyes. Very, very cool. This big blue part here is also a sticker, and that's a little bit more unfortunate. I really feel that they could have made this be a part and not have messed with their budget too much, but what do I know? Anyway, articulation wise, the head is on sort of like a ball joint, but as you can see, the polycap is on a hinge itself to allow for greater looking upwards, which helps for flight poses as well as for the transformation of this thing. But since it's a ball joint, you still can get the usual kind of rotation and tilts for expressiveness. So he's like, huh, I didn't know it could do that. On the shoulders, let's see, you got a ball joint that gives you pretty decent butterfly, as well as rotation around, though you're getting a little bit of interference on the backpack there. Then this is sort of connected almost like a disc hinge inside the shoulder pad to allow for movement up. Then elbow is single jointed and you don't quite get 90 degree. Hand is in a ball joint, fairly tight, but allows for a little bit of movement around. No swappable hands or anything like that. The torso can rotate, but there's no ab crunch or anything like that. And there is one of the issues. These wings are also articulated, but the joint that they're in is kind of a little bit too shallow. So if you move things around too much, they'll just pop right off. I mean, look at how short that peg is. It could really use to be a lot longer and going further in to the back, I think. And the wings, as you can see, are kind of dual layered, but that's mostly to hide this part, which actually becomes like the nose cone. Though I suppose if you want to do sort of like a Gundam Freedom or Seraphim like thing, you can spread the wings out a little bit. Sometimes these parts right here can be a little finicky. I think I got them just before the review was set to be filmed. Got them in place better, but before it's like if I just lightly touched them, they were coming off. But right now they seem to be pretty solid. So your mileage may vary. I can talk. I've been doing several of these videos for a while now. Legs. Let's see. You do have some articulation in the skirt, so you can kick up pretty decent. Focus. So pretty good chorus line. And your knee bend is compromised thanks to transformation, because you got a sort of thruster bit going on right there. Do get one heck of a toe point though, as well as some nice ankle articulation there. You can only kick back so far because the butt skirt is stationary, and the side skirts do prevent a full splits. So his articulation in the legs is hampered a little bit, but what you got works pretty darn well. It's just this part that makes me want to chunk something at the wall. So, while it may not be the most articulated guy in the world, it makes pretty good use of what it has, I think. And you can get some pretty wide stances thanks to the way the ankle articulation is. You just got to make sure everything balances. There you go. Fortunately, though, you don't really need to put him on his feet, and that's because of something in his accessories. So let's go ahead and move on to that. So, to start off, we'll look at this. This is his weapon. I can't remember what it's called. Does it have a special name? I don't know. It's a lance thing of some sort. It is the Retaliator, apparently. And it is a pretty cool looking double-ended sort of beam lance thing. You can take this off, but really it's meant to stay on for the most part. And I have to admit, I really dig how this looks. The green translucent material is your sort of standard beam saber material, maybe a little bit thicker. And if you want to put it in his hand, all you have to do is just go like that, and then connect it like so. And there it is. He doesn't hold it, but it stays in his hand thanks to how it's designed. So it still looks pretty cool. The next, and arguably one of the most important accessories, is this. This is its own little personal stand. It's very similar to the stand that comes with the H2 normal, particularly in that it houses some extra accessories for this thing. These right here are basically replacement arms for its transformed mode. We'll get into that in a little bit. You also can change the position of this depending on how you want this thing to be displayed. If you want it this way, you get the display for robot mode. If you put it this way, this is for displaying it in flight mode. So flip that back around, and basically he just has a slot right there, and there you go. And so now you can have him hovering menacingly, looking down on you, ready to strike, or something like that. I don't think this character is supposed to be menacing. I think it's a hero unit, but whatever. But the flight stand, pretty cool. Could be nice if it was a little bit higher or maybe more adjustable, but considering it's a basic packed-in stand and it does some extra cool stuff, I'm willing to forgive that. Though what is interesting is this is made from the same runner as the beam weapon here. So it's actually a semi-soft plastic, which is a little bit worrisome, but I'm not going to stress too much about it. It does its job. And having the storage for the extra arms is just, that's amazing. I do appreciate some good parts storage. But now let's go ahead and get this thing transformed and see what that's all about. So this isn't too complicated, but I do have the instructions next to me just in case. So first thing we're going to do is take him off the stand, and next we're going to rip his arms off. Like that. Oh no! Then I guess we go ahead and put on these parts to replace them. So these just plug in like so. And I knocked the wing off. All right, so we're going to fold down the shoulder pads like so. Tilt the head up, and then these go like this. And this is the main reason for these replacement arms, because basically you need the arms to be as if they were on a double jointed elbow, which this thing doesn't have, sadly. Next, we're going, let's see if I can do this without having the wings fall off. We're going to slowly but surely move the wings and nose cone assembly up and over and around, and then we connect it at the nose like that. And then we can fold the wings out. And to be honest, it's already looking like something. Oh, side skirt came off. Don't do that to me. Come on. Work with me. There we go. So next we're going to sort of tilt the ankles back a little bit. And here's where it gets interesting in relation to like your standard transforming Gunpla. We're going to fold these down, and the legs actually fold forward, not back or double jointed in a weird direction. And we also tilt this around like that. And that kind of, I guess, helps lock things in place. So yeah, the legs sort of fold up underneath it, kind of like, I don't know, a bird or something maybe. And maybe that's the effect they're going for. Smooth out that sticker. And that's it. And here it is. And it's not too bad. All things considering, it's not like trying to be a specific vehicle or something like that, so you can kind of forgive a certain amount of, exposed kibble and stuff like that. But everything compacts down relatively well, and it's certainly swooshable. If you want to put this thing on the stand, what you're going to do is, like I showed before, you take that off, flip it around, and then you're using this peg. You knock off the wing. This is on a little ball socket joint there. And then you just plug it in right. Plug it in right there. And there we go. And if you want, you can put the arms back here like this. Technically, the instructions don't show you doing this with the staff, but otherwise you wouldn't have any storage for it. The staff doesn't go anywhere on the vehicle mode, which that's a bit of a bummer, particularly since I think it would have looked cool to have them sticking out like either under the nose or off the wings. But yeah, for a little transforming kit, that's pretty impressive. Everything moves quite smoothly. Parts forming is limited to just the arms. And yeah, I'm impressed. I think this works quite nicely. Though again, the stickers rear their ugly head. So that's just something to be aware of. These yellow bits here are also stickers. He does bounce around a little bit on the stand, but that's just because I'm moving him. But yeah, I dig how this looks. Alright, let's get him back into robot mode and then we'll do some comparisons. So the most logical comparison right now is to the other LBX kit I have, which is the Deku, which as you can see is a little bit shorter than this guy. Of course, this is supposed to be like a stumpy little grunt suit, so not surprised that he comes in a little bit shorter. Next, here he is next to the SD cross silhouette ground Gundam with the full CS booster set on there. Here he is next to the God Musha Gundam. I'm just trying to fall over. There we go. Which is a BB Senshi style SD Gundam. And finally, here it is next to the age 2 normal, because I figured this would be a little bit of a more fair, or at least apt comparison, considering they both transform and they both have, to me at least, similar style bases. Let's see, one final thing to go over before we wrap everything up here. There are a few extra parts, because I believe this thing is a major retooling of the Achilles. So we have, let's see if it'll focus, or you can even see this. We have extra, I think these are supposed to be arm pieces, maybe? Yeah, because there's the hand symbol. And then we have alternate head pieces. And since we're looking at it, one of the cool things about the way they build things is the runners are set up so that way you can break them down into smaller runners, and you have sections marked with symbols like this. It's for the head. This is for the arms because it's a hand. I even saved these parts because there were some nice clear plastic bits. So this one's for torso and this one is for weapon. So, and that makes it a little bit easier to kind of suss out what parts go where when it comes time for assembly, which I imagine must be pretty handy for newbie builders. But yeah, like I said earlier, overall, I really dig this thing, and I would actually highly recommend it for anybody who likes interesting builds or wants to just try something a little bit different than your standard Gunpla. Anyway, that's been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.